Hello, my name is Cronus Adair, and this is X4 Foundations. And as you can see from the opening scene, some time has passed, both in-game and in real time. And I do apologize for the content dearth. As you saw, Activa's Choice 1 has been thoroughly secured, and now we are on the hunt for scrap processing technology. The people to talk to when you want to process scrap are the Riptide Rakers. Now, we first ran into the enigmatic Rakers back in episode 4 when we saw one of their salvage operations in Black Hole Sun. Today, we're going to try to establish a little more formal contact with them. Now, what we know about the Riptide Rakers are they are trapped in a system that's only accessible from Vigor Syndicate space. So, we've got to deal with them before we can find the Riptide Rakers themselves.
Entering Windfall 3, the Horde.
Come on, don't make this difficult, Britson. You're the one who broke the rules.
What rules? I'm trying to make a living here!
Okay, one last time. No illegal wares.
What does illegal even mean in these parts? You're just taking whatever you want!
Well, now, what have we come across?
Oh, quit whining. We're not taking anything that isn't already ours. You weren't supposed to get this far in the first place.
You have no idea how important this is to me. It's all I have left. My family is starving.
Of course I know that, idiot. It's how the business is run. Our lives are all just business, and you've made a miscalculation. Now drop your cargo.
You know what? No, not this time. Riptide, you out there? Want to come and help settle a few scores?
Not part of the plan, not part of the plan. The boss will be so mad.
This is it. Come on, final chance.
Hey, you. This is syndicate business. Stay away or else.
Yeah, well, I think it's time to join in. And this is how business is done in Vigor Syndicate space. What a delightful group of people.
Why are you shooting at me?
Kid. Lux.
Get liquidated. Yes! I can't believe we've done it! Those syndicate goons will never... Oh no, they may have called for backup. Run, quick, through the gate, before they come after us!
Turn Sentinel.
Well, we seem to have made a friend. So yeah, this is how business is done in Syndicate space. The Vigor Syndicate, wonderful people that they are, have a monopoly on food and medical supplies.
Hey, I guess I haven't probably thanked you for helping me out, so thanks.
Yeah,
Risking
you're
your
welcome.
life to save another. That isn't something you see a lot of in Windfall these days.
Nope. So yeah, this poor fellow was just trying to bring home food to his family, and he was being accosted by the Vigor Syndicate for it. Yeah, they have a monopoly on food and medical supplies, which they overcharge the Riptide Rakers for. In exchange, the Riptide Rakers provide them with energy cells, claytronics, and hull parts. Because they're in a very unique system called Avarice. And Avarice has 1400% solar output. That's more than double what you can get out of Mercury.
I had to do something, you know? The Syndicate is bleeding us dry. Can you believe it? We're not even allowed to transport our own agrowares, just so they can turn a tiny amount of extra profit.
Yep.
Yes, I know it wasn't the smartest idea smuggling that cargo, but it's the only way I could hope to break the cycle. We scraped together every last bit we had for this shipment. It'll help the other residents too when I sell it. So I'm doing a good thing.
I just don't understand how you expected to get a medium transport through Vigor Syndicate space. Anyway, Avarice has a lot of solar output, but they've got problems. One of the problems is the only way to get to it is through the windfall systems, Vigor space. What ended up happening was when the windfall and Avarice systems were cut off from the gate, they didn't have a full tech base. And what ended up happening is they came up with the closed loop system, which basically can turn scrap into claytronics and hull parts, and they can use claytronics, hull parts, and energy cells to pretty much make anything. Kind of like how the Terran economy system works. Although not as refined, it's kind of a step between the Commonwealth system and the Terran economy in reality. But it takes a lot of energy cells both to process the Rex and to process the output from closed loop. But we learned how to do closed loop back when we were lost in space, and it's been very, very handy for our station building.
That's the gate to Avarice up ahead, finally. Looks like nobody's caught up with us. Hold tight and stay on full throttle until you reach the nearest dock. You don't want to get caught out in the open when the tide hits.
Ah, the tide. That's the other problem with the Avarice systems.
Mayday, Mayday. Ship bestowed in perpetuity. Inbound for tide break. Major engine failure. Need engineers for repairs.
Negative. Bestowed in perpetuity. Tide is inbound.
Someone's in
Scramble a
trouble.
Volunteer rescue team. How many occupants?
Alec,
Just me. Negative on the rescue mission. I will get it to work.
Call again should you change your mind. Good luck.
I can't help this guy. We need to get these resources to safety. With the tide inbound, there's just no time.
Any engineers out there? Please hurry to my location. Ship in need of repairs. Please report immediately.
Don't worry, we'll help you out.
An engineer. Wonderful. Quick, do an EVA and try to fix the remaining engine. I am trying to fix something with the engine control from in here.
So, we need to do a little bit of EVA repair work.
engine.
Okay, that should be sufficient. I will try to start the engine. Better stay clear of the exhaust.
Alright, we're clear. Oh, that didn't look good.
No. Something broke.
Warning, engine failure.
We saw that.
Evacuate vessel to prevent loss of life.
No, we can still do it. I have figured something out. Broken wiring is interfering with the engine control. You can access and repair some of those using your spacesuit. Please hurry.
Alright, we'll try.
Great. That shines some light on the other issues. Keep repairing. I will try to think of some way to fix it from in here.
Multiple systems critical. Destructive stellar event imminent. Evacuate immediately.
That would be the tide.
Danger. Energy supply critical. Evacuate immediately.
I think the AI is right.
Danger. Energy supply critical. Evacuate immediately. Pelican.
Hey, buddy,
Vanguard.
you need to go.
Keep repairing. I will try to think of some way to fix it from in here.
You're out of time, and your ship's beyond repair.
We only need to fix the engine. Non-critical repairs can be fixed once it is docked.
Your life support's failing, bud.
All right. It looks like I have to cut my losses. I will evacuate to your ship. Please pick me up. Please pick me up. I am floating here.
Yep, come aboard. So, yeah, the reason we're in a hurry is the star's about to explode. Kinda.
Requesting docking permission. Quick, we need to escape the looming tide. Let us head to Tide Break. It was built to withstand the event. I also have an acquaintance there who I would like you to meet.
So, we are approaching Tide Break, which is the only station in Avarice which can naturally hold up against the exploding sun.
We've been cleared to land.
Every other ship or station either has to pay for a expensive piece of gear called a Protection module, or evacuate the system, or they pretty much get destroyed.
Ah, Tide Break. You feast for the eyes. Protector of people. Home of profit. Friend, I made it.
Ah, there it is. Always a sight to behold.
There goes my property.
I see that. But where is your ship?
Out
And
there,
here comes the
not
tide.
too far from the station.
Out there, you
You
say?
can see the flare
I see.
coming up against
Out
the
there.
shields.
So, you need a new one? How much can you advance me?
Let us say you will get a share of the first profits.
Sure, you can make that acquisition. I know you do not accept handouts. I have something cheap for you, but claiming it is a bit hands-on.
A scrapyard salvage.
Yes, one of those.
You know, I am an inexperienced pilot. I will probably not get it out of there without major damage.
Is your friend over here a better one?
He sure is. Picked me up in my spacesuit and got both of us out of there.
Oh, you're roping me
Brilliant.
into this
That's
too?
settled then. I will be on my ship. You can meet me there once you are ready for a salvage adventure.
Thank you so much for helping me.
I guess we're helping him get a new ship.
The scrapyard is certainly a bleak sight to behold. It is a place where the Syndicate dumps stripped ships after their collecting sprees. But stealing from the scrapyard is one form of payback. Good luck on your journey.
So yeah, his busted up large trader, which it's a shame that it was lost, but it was destroyed by the tide. And yeah, so basically once an hour, the star explodes. Everything in the system that isn't protected goes boom. Stations can buy a special shielding unit called a Protection module, but those are expensive, and they have to pay for one if they're one-time use. So they have to pay for a new one each time, which is just another ongoing cost. So the Riptide Rakers have it tough. They're quote free, but they have to pay for overpriced food and medical care. And they have to pay for Protection modules or they get blown up. In exchange, they have a ton of solar energy and all of the scrap they could process. Hooray! So let's see if we can get this fella a new ship.
Customers are reminded that wares on the station are sold without warranties.
Hi. No, you're awful nice to help that guy out.
Ready to rummage?
I suppose.
Wonderful.
Entering system. Windfall.
That one looks suitable. I'll drop you off as close as I can. Good luck from there. Once you're in, go to the pilot seat and start flying immediately. Even better, charge the travel drive. Once the laser towers recognize that this ship is back online, they'll almost certainly try to shoot you down. What are you waiting for? We're here.
Raleigh. Container.
To claim the ship, find and scan a signal leak using your spacesuit scanner. Once you've done that, you will be able to dock.
Whoa, do you see that behemoth? I want that one.
I'm sorry to inform you that this product is currently unavailable. The display piece is sadly defunct, and, if I may add, quite above your price range.
One can dream.
It has also been occupied ever since the Syndicate confiscated it. Apparently it was too ambitious and militaristic for us Rakers, which is why it changed hands. However, they never figured out how to connect turrets to it without blowing them off, so it has been sitting here under construction for an eternity or two. Heard the current occupant is a rather unfriendly fellow, so better stay clear of it.
So they're talking about
The first laser tower just came online.
Yeah, we're heading out.
You better hurry out of there before they blow you up.
So they're talking about a ship that the Vigor Syndicate stole from the Riptide Rakers.
Good luck, pilot. It was nice knowing you.
We'll talk more about that ship in a minute. In the meantime, let's get this wonderful piece of transport technology back to our buddy.
Is everything all right with the ship? No unexpected malfunctions?
Nope, it's all yours.
Wonderful. Thank you kindly.
Hey, no problem, buddy. Always need local contacts. So now that we've dropped off our friend's new transport, let's go check out that half-pieces junk battleship that the Vigor Syndicate had hanging out here.
Autopilot. Disengaged.
Now there's a reason I'm bringing the envoy for this. And that reason is the Vigor don't like you getting too close to the
Abnormal
station.
Power signature detected.
It appears to be coming from that large vessel. Such a power signature points to some rather unorthodox engineering. Even through the interference, it is easy to see that this ship is formidable, albeit not yet complete. I fathom that, when fully constructed, few could stand against it in direct conflict. Perhaps it is worth considering a boarding operation, although I do not expect it to be a simple matter.
And Bozo just gave you a hint. The only way to acquire this ship is through boarding it. So, backstory. This is a battleship that the Riptide Rakers were working on. The Vigor Syndicate got word of it and repossessed it, shall we call it.
Greetings, friend.
Hey there,
I
buddy.
am currently at a station and will talk to the manager soon about trade and profits. After my eager consumption of negotiation technique guides, I am sure to strike a great deal.
Sure you are.
You should come too. There is profit to be made. And I may be able to teach you a thing or two about trade negotiations.
Uh-huh. Okay. So anyway, the Vigor Syndicate stole this thing, but they couldn't do anything with it. It takes a lot of unique technology. Alright? Yes, you could put Commonwealth technology on it, but it's going to work like garbage. You can't use the main gun. Commonwealth engines aren't going to propel the thing anywhere nearly as efficiently as the engines it was designed for. So there is a little puzzle that you get to do, and that puzzle is hunt the data faults. There are 5 data vaults in the Windfall and Avarice sectors. Then they are completely randomized. Hooray! How do you find them? Best way I've found is to deploy sensor networks, advanced sensor platform satellites throughout all 6 sectors. Once you've done that, you can just type in data for data vaults, and bam, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 data vaults. So you go to each one and you unlock them to get the technology to add to the Erlking. Now, to actually put any technology on the Erlking, you need your own shipyard or equipment dock. Yes, equipment docks will work. So that's yet another expense, because until you can get an equipment dock, or your own shipyard, and it takes an XL equipment dock or shipyard, you really can't do much with this thing. However, once you have it, it's got pretty much the most powerful turrets you can equip on a capital ship. It can actually defend itself against small and medium ships, which most capital ships cannot in 8.0. That may be changing in 9.0. Its main gun damage is kind of anemic. If you compare it to the Asgard, they're kind of opposites. The Asgard is slow, ponderous, is basically built around its main gun. It's got a lot of hit points and a lot of shields. You can consider it a main battle tank. In contrast, the Erlking is fast. It's got a lot of turret firepower. It's made more to be like a horse archer or a chariot rather than a tank. But it's still excellent at taking out Xenon. So here's why I'm using the Envoy. So if you get too close to this station, the Vigor Syndicate tell you off.
This is Vig Base to approaching ship.
Uh-huh.
Let me give you some free advice. Turn back while you still can.
That was a hint. So what we're going to do is we're going to cloak, switch to the Vigor Syndicate cover.
Vigor Syndicate.
Then decloak. And now that we've done this, we can get as close as we want.
You there, approaching the wreck. The Vigor Syndicate confiscated the Erlking fair and square, and we do not allow passers-by to approach. Get away from our property right now, or suffer the consequences.
Hey, I'm one of you guys.
Autopilot engaged.
So, let's go back and help out our buddy. See if we can help with this trade deal. So the reason you cloak is if anyone has you targeted, you cannot switch IFFs and engage faction cover. And now that we're all clear, we'll switch our IFFs back to TNS. Hooray!
Negotiations have not yet commenced.
On my way.
Please come, as I am eager to repay you for your troubles.
Hello. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Dagobas Lahubasis Eurylos III.
She said
Let's
that very
get right
smoothly.
to it. How much did you say you want to pay for these hull parts?
I know it is a low price, but hear me out. You are practically swimming in those wares. They take up storage space and hamper your production. Eager buyers like us are doing you a
This doesn't
favor.
sound like a very good sales pitch, buddy.
I'm not sure where you got that idea from,
Hello there.
but we will have to turn down that offer. It is not profitable for our station.
You need to raise your price, bud.
I believe we can come to an agreement.
Sure, but the price needs to be higher.
Yes, I see. However, it needs to stay below Commonwealth prices.
Yes, we can go quite low.
Sounds good.
Brilliant. Then we have a deal.
Great! I will arrange everything, and you can get your trading ships going. It is nice doing business with you, Mr. Dagobas Lahubasis Eurylos III.
This went really well. I do not believe that we could have achieved a lower price.
No, I don't
And
think we
are
could.
undercutting the Commonwealth. We made a great team. Now it is time to make some profits. Buy wares at this station.
And this is
find
a
profitable
trade
trades
tutorial.
on the market. Shipyards and wharves should be profitable buyers. Now look for the highest bidders and make a fortune.
I don't think I'll tell them that I've got 4 different hull parts factories, but okay. So, we are now going to get our promotion, and they'll get access to the technology
it's an
that we
honor
want.
to see you here. We're happy that you've continued to work alongside us, and we wanted to reward you for your continued aid in these hard times. We look forward to working with you more in the future. Good luck out there. It's an honor to see you here.
Alright, so what we want... Scrap processor and scrap recycler. Alright, so the processor allows us to turn scrap cubes or wrecks into scrap, and the scrap recycler will turn the scrap into claytronics and hull parts. Also, we want the manticore, which we've already obtained through other means, and this other ship called the Tutua, or Tetua. The Tetua is a special ship that will break down, I believe it'll break down station wrecks, large shipwrecks, and XL shipwrecks into scrap cubes that the manticores, which are these ships, can tug back to your scrap processing stations. And what we're going to do, oh, and another thing is these Tetuas, like builders, are great at crew training. So we're going to want a couple of those going out and processing wrecks into cubes. We're going to want manticores going out and dragging them back to our scrap facilities. Scrap recycling takes a lot of energy.
Good luck out there.
And guess what? We own Scarlet Star, which has 266% energy efficiency. So, yeah, we're going to turn Scarlet Star into our scrap processing area. And what's really neat is it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's within 5 jumps of Activa's choice. Let's see, right. 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's within 5 jumps of Activa's choice. It's within 5 jumps of Getsufune, I should say. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's also within this conflict zone of the Argon, Hop, and Paranid. So yeah, there should be plenty of Rex for us to nom on. Alright. So now that we have what we need, we'll go ahead and build our facilities in Scarlet Star. And while that's being accomplished, we're going to accomplish our other goal for this episode, which is to nab ourselves an Erlking. So, while I'm making the preparations to snag the Erlking, I'm going to go around and collect some blueprints, which I'm not going to do off camera because that's a little boring to look at. Okay, so you're getting ready to board the Erlking. You've got the Erlking modules, you've got your shipyard. What do you need to board the Erlking? Well, Marines and boarding actions come down to numbers. For one, you need to know the crew capacity. So we need 329 Marines. Alright, so what's the easiest way to get that number of Marines? The best ship I've found for carrying a large contingent of Marines is the Shuyaku Vanguard. Well, best civilian ship, and there's going to be a reason we use civilian ships. So 225, so 2 of these would give us well over the amount of Marines that we could carry. Alright. And yes, if you throw 328 rookie Marines at the Erlking, you'll probably be able to take it. However, how do we improve our odds? Well, better Marines. How do you find better Marines? Defense platforms.
Entering system. Sol.
So what I found are defense platforms have the highest contingent of Marines available for hire. So here's a 1-star Marine.
Hello there.
He's pretty cheap.
Good luck out there.
There's a less than 1-star Marine. It's a crewman. What's the 1-star? There's a... So here's a 3-star Marine.
There.
So 2.6 million credits. I've already got 2 Shuyaku Vanguards, so we're going to hire her as a Marine.
Great. I look forward to my first assignment.
Now, doing these by hand is going to get expensive. There's no doubt about that. But if you're the point where you've got an XL shipyard or equipment dock, you've probably got the money to spare. So you can go around to a few different defense platforms.
Hello there.
And hire the Marines.
Thank you. I will do my best to justify your faith in me.
Okay, so say you've recruited a fair number of veteran Marines and you're tired of going around recruiting them by hand. What are other ways of getting better than 1-star Marines? Well, if you hire Marines from either the Vigor Syndicate or Split Marines, they have a chance of being 1-star or better. Now, we have completed a equipment dock in Fires of Defeat, and we are in the process of recruiting Split from the free split systems that we rescued. The split were inspired by our courage in defending their systems from the Xenon invasion, and we're recruiting them into the Titan Network Solutions organization as kind of Terran auxiliary units. In any case, we are demanding that they do renounce their tradition of prisoners with jobs. So, what we can do is we can just upgrade repair, go in, and hire Marines. So, max that out. Add 50 Marines. Same thing here. And we'll wait a couple minutes and see how many veteran Marines we end up with, if any. Okay, so the split Marine experiment was a bit of a bust. We didn't end up with any that were better than 1 star. We got a couple that were around 1 star. Lot kit up here. So, hey, it was worth a try. Okay, your Marine transports are in position. I would recommend doing this out of sector. If you're in sector doing this, you may have a problem with the Vigor aggressing on you and your ships. But if you do it out of sector, it's not going to be a problem. So what you do, you select your 2 ships that you want to do the boarding action. Right-click on the Erlking, board. Alright. So we're going to start with the veteran Marines from each transport. Then the cannon fodder recruits. And you can only send as many Marines as is in the boarding capacity of the ship. So, again, 328. So, between the veterans and recruits, our boarding attack strength is going to be 5,414. The boarding resistance is going to be 1145. We want to lodge pods at a combat effectiveness very strong. The reason being is they'll wait to launch the pods until there's no turrets. We don't want that. Start reaching at very strong. If we select anything else, we've got to damage the hull of our target. This will launch pods with full turret strength and full hull. Start operation.
Pod launched. Moving to target.
Okay, our pods have latched onto the Erlking. We've lost 35 Marines so far. Boarding attack strength is still 5,000. So, we just need to wait for them to burn their way through the hull. This is going to take a very long time because the Erlking has no hull damage. So, while we wait for this to happen, we're going to cut to some other content real quick.
Entering system. Patikvas Faith.
Welcome aboard the Lexington's new sister ship, the Yorktown. I now have 2 Asgard-class battleships, though I could easily create more. We're going to explore into Nopileos' memorial. Heavy combat exploration. Isn't she beautiful?
Entering system. Nopileos Memorial.
Well, hello. There's Xenon there.
K.
Alright, target front, K. In range, on the way.
H.
Target eliminated. Alright. Target H, front. On the way.
H.
Target eliminated. Of course, the main hail gun hits just as hard as the Yorktown. Extremely well modded. Alright, target front, H, on the way.
K.
Target destroyed. All back full. Target K. On the way.
K.
Target destroyed. Alright, target K. Upper starboard. On the way.
H.
Too late, Harikan. I'm defending Nopileos' fortune. Alright. Target forward, H. On the way.
H.
Target H port. On the way.
K.
Target K, dorsal forward. On the way.
Report.
Target destroyed. Now all that's left is to get rid of all of these ugly scale plate stations. Alright, strategic update. We managed to save Holy Order of Pontifex. They actually have their own shipyard again. And they put it back in Holy Vision after about 3 attempts to put it in Void of Opportunity and 2 different attempts to put it in Pontifex's Claim. They have Pontifex's Claim back. They are fighting in Pious Mists, too. They're also trying to assault Second Contact to Flashpoint. They also really, really, really like us. I mean, look at this fleet. It's 3 destroyers, a bunch of medium and small ships. I mean, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 destroyers, an auxiliary ship, tons of fighters. Just sitting here in the midst of Artemis protecting it. They actually took out the Antigone defense stations in Frontier Edge and at Leah's Misfortune. Look at that big old fleet patrolling at Leah's Misfortune. So yeah, they handed us these systems. Thank you, HOP. That's not a bad reward for saving their bacon. In fact, it's gotten to the point where I'm starting to worry about the Paranid. But more about them later. Up in Split Space, we have created a bit of an economy. So we've got split food being made at this wonderful station. I have a Claytronics, a hull parts, and a shield component factory. Shield component factory simply because there's a lot of gas in Tharka's Fall, and it needs helium is in particular. And there's not a lot of helium in the the northeast corner. Fire's Defeat, we put an equipment dock up. Matrix 451, welcome to Fleet Yard 451. Isn't that a beauty? So that's Fleet Yard 451. You can see it has, instead of a Terran crew,
awaiting orders,
it has a split crew. So building ships from this will give me split crews instead of Terran crews. But it's got 2 wharves. It's got 6 XL shipyards and a whole bunch of L shipyards. So very effective shipyard facility. I haven't got it as built out as the Orbelt Pocket, but we've got Terran goods, split food, hull parts. In Mitsuno's relevation space, I put up a mining facility and another series of manufacturing stations. So here I'm making argon food because I'm making use of the argon XL housing spires that you get from
awaiting orders.
You get from the Quentinauts. So these XL spires, you get them from the Quentinauts. They can carry 2,000 crew instead of 1,000 or 500 like all the Terrans give you. So it's a lot fewer constructions that you have to do. Two reasons for having the manufacturing stations here in Mitsuno's Relevation. Mitsuno's Relevation has the highest sunlight at 118% in the Quetnot pocket. And it brings them one jump closer to the rest of the Commonwealth. The nice thing about Quetnot space, it's safe. No Ka'ak, no Xenon come here. It's actually safer than Terran space. So I'm using medium miners. See Manarinas. Yeah. Very cool. I've taken the Silent Witness stations and kicked out all of the scale plate. I'm leaving this Ka'ak outpost in anticipation of 9.0. I'm hoping that I can salvage Ka'ak Rex here. Maybe. I might still take it out eventually. We've, of course, taken Activa's Faith and Nopileos' Memorial. We saw us assaulting the scale plate stations here, and a scale plate station got put up here. I'll have to knock that back down. Bad. Okay. So, yeah, and we're pretty much at the point where credits are just a number. I'm almost completely self-sufficient. The only thing I don't make for my shipyards is smart chips, enigmatic converters, energy engine parts. Oh, I am making field coils. There's no reason we need to get field coils from elsewhere. We are making field coils, so I still need factories for smart chips, enigmatic converters, and engine parts. Once I have those, I'll be completely self-sufficient in the ore belt Mists of Artemis pocket. I have my scrap processing stations going up in Scarlet Star. Working towards self-sufficiency in the Free Families pocket. Nice thing about Free Families is, yes, everything's spread out, but they actually have a fair capacity for the quote-unquote fiddly bits. So my Fleet Yard 451 is actually very well supplied. Extremely well supplied.
Awaiting orders.
I've got this selling ships to the Talati. I've got it selling to the Paranid. I've got it selling to Ministry of Finance. I don't have it selling to any of the split factions yet, and there's a reason for that. I'm also selling it to Terrans, but they're not really buying up here. As far as HOP go, they're buying 70 to 100 million worth of ships every hour. You can see all of the mediums and smalls they're buying, Ares, they're buying civilian ships, they're buying destroyers, Odysseus's. Yeah, they're buying everything from us. But they needed it because they almost lost their shipbuilding capacity. Their wharf was never really under threat, but this shipyard, they've needed to replace it several times, as I stated before. Split space. I have stopped guarding the Family's Inn gate. Reason being, the split we're assaulting into Tharkus Cascade. I did not want the split to take Tharkus Cascade, so I stopped defending Family Jin, and they are under assault in Family Jin. All of these satellites are where stations used to be. As you can see, they're going down. This defense platform is so far still holding the line. We'll see how far that can last. Two defense platforms going up. Wretched Skies is under heavy Xenon assault, as is Wretched Skies 5, and even into Paraded space. Wretched Skies 10 and Litany of Fury have had Xenon incursions. So yeah, the entire Northwest here is under threat. I've pretty much blacklisted all of these systems, so the nascent production I've got going up in Heretic's End doesn't send any ships up in this way because I blacklisted all sector activities. Through all of Zyre space, open market, I am letting them go into 2 grand because 2 grand's a valuable mining zone for my Fleet Yard 451 operation. Argon have lost 11th hour to Zyarth, and Zyarth has taken the Matrix 598 and Rise Defiance systems. So yeah, the Xenon are only holding on into this one section of Emperor's Pride, which is being contested. And the Savage Spur Tharkus Cascade pocket. I have got these delightful Bastion stations parked in front of the gate, armed with lots and lots of delicious heavy dumbfire 2 missiles and light interceptor missiles, pretty much blocking off anything the Xenon could possibly throw at them.
Awaiting orders.
And I have another one of those in Getsufune. Doing pretty much the same thing. I don't have an administration station on this because I do not want to contest Getsufune or Activa's Choice 1. But something to note for the future. The Terrans are contesting Activa's Choice 1. I had a guild mission to put a defense platform in here. So, yeah. There is typically yeah, you can see it right here. There's a Tokyo carrier right here patrolling the gate. So they usually have, the Terrans usually have a patrol on the Tharkus Cascade gate and elsewhere in the Activa's Choice system. Right here you can see some katanas. Some just beefy destroyer squadrons. And I'm in good enough with the Terrans that I can see the status of their shipyards. They are completely supplied. So, we may need to conduct some interesting operations to get the Terran fleet something else to do than Xenon bashing. Alright, so there is a mod you can add in the Steam Workshop that will allow you to get updates on boarding operation status. So you can see infiltration, which is the cutting into the hull, is at 92% and 93% rising. Once that hits 100%, they'll actually start fighting into the ship. Infiltration status is at 99%. Let's get the boarding window back up. And they are assaulting. Now, Marine boarding operations, you've seen me do this before with destroyers, but are all a numbers game. And the crew has a significant advantage, so to take a ship, you either need really elite Marines or a lot of Marines. And at a certain point, quantity becomes quality.
Orders.
So as you see, we're taking casualties. We lost 35 Marines in the boarding pod section. We're up to 74 losses. But they've lost about 12 crew. That's dropping. Resistance just dropped under 900.
They say it's safe to engage.
You can hear the chatter. Up to 110 lost Marines. So far, all recruits. No losses in my veterans.
Follow my lead.
Alright, there's now more Marines aboard than crew. Resistance is down to almost 200. Oh, we're starting to lose veteran Marines. We've lost 16 veterans. Almost 200 Marines total. But defending crews under 100 now and dropping quickly. Attack strength and boarding strength is 2 orders of magnitude separate, so we've got this in the bag. Surprisingly little battle chatter from the Marines. Usually they're a bit more vocal than this.
We've secured several sections. Moving on.
Follow my lead.
Alright, 7 crew left. 4.
Good.
Well, the one last crew member resisting us. And stage complete. We now have our own Erlking. Total losses, 205 recruits, 23 veterans. So roughly half of our recruits and half of our veterans were lost. But mission accomplished. Erlking is ours. So send the Erlking over to our equipment deck. So engines, if you look at this, it's got 180 meters per second with a travel speed of 6,700. You put the Erlking engines on. Look at that. 346 with 11,000 travel speed. It's got an argon shield on there right now. So 129. You put the Erlking shield on, 158. You put a Terran shield on, 161. The Terran shields are one of the exceptions for Erlking modules. Erlking main battery. Look at that. That's a big old thing. As you see, burst is not great. It's only 4,000. Alright, so it's not like it's a impressive weapon, though from what I understand it is getting a boost in 9.0. Turrets. You got Erlking turrets. And you want an Erlking turret all day. There's literally no point in putting anything other than Erlking turrets on it, because they all stink in comparison to the Erlking turrets. In fact, it'd be nice to put Erlking turrets on ships other than the Erlking, but Erlking's a bit unique. Because look at that in the encyclopedia. 9.2 kilometer effective range out of a medium turret. Average turret output 2,500. Alright, so 25.5, so 7,000 to 7,500 sustained DPS. That's pretty decent. I might put something different on later, but for right now we'll leave it alone. Alright, we'll confirm that. And yeah. It'll limp its way over to the equipment dock, but once it gets there, and 8 minutes afterwards, we're going to have an Erlking. Alright, and to round us off, let's talk about mods. Mods can do various things, but the main thing we're going to be looking for is improving damage and durability. So, chassis has to do with mainly the ship's maneuverability. You can add a little good wear concealment, radar visibilities, hazardous region damage reduction. The main thing is mass reduction. So let's install that. So that was on the low end, so let's reassemble. And there we go. Twin ship mass minus 22%. That was actually a slight downgrade in speed, but an upgrade in acceleration. Engines. For XL ships, I like the rotation thrust. And again, that's on the low end. Let's reassemble. Now, reassemble will sometimes cost you parts, but that's acceptable. $15K travel speed, 471 forward velocity. Nice. And you hit reassemble to basically reroll the stat. I'm looking for something over 60%. There we go. Nice. 68.8. Hard to beat that. Erlking main battery. So, unless it'll depend on how they change it in 9.0, but as far as 8.0 goes, I just like putting the slasher on. There we go. So, plus 44% damage, plus 35% weapon reload at the cost of cooling. It takes forever for the Erlking Maygun to overheat, so this is well worth it. Turrets, and pretty much the same thing. Slasher. As far as 8.0 goes, weapon cooling makes no difference for turrets. We'll have to see what happens in 9.0. There we go. Ooh, nice. Almost 50% with an 87% reload. That's a good one. And basically all I'm looking for... Ooh, that's another good one. Something in the 40% damage with a green weapon reload. I've got tons of mod components, mainly due to a mod that increases the drop rate. Though if you go Kaak bashing and Xenon bashing, you should rake in mod components fairly easily. At least enough to modify your important capital ships. Take that. I'm going to be a little less picky about the M turrets. And there we are. So we bumped up the burst weapon damage to 9,000, the turret output to 6,000. So we jumped from, I think it was around 9,000 or what? I think it was, yeah, it was 9,000 DPS. So we bumped that up to about 15k. That's pretty darn impressive. Actually, I think that paint is a good match for it. Let's install that. And close. There, that's our Erlking. So let's go aboard.
Sir.
So welcome to 3rd Redemption Station. This is the primary shipyard that I'm using for personal use. I don't have this set to sell to anybody else. So, as you see, I kind of have a design philosophy. But, let's focus in on the Erlking. That is the lovely piece of scrap that is the Erlking. You can see the Xenon I've got docked up top to provide extra flak turrets up above. This thing is a monster. It looks like a World War II battleship going off with its AA guns when all of its turrets are engaged. It's glorious. As you can see, I have recruited a Yaki crew. And I've actually given command to Mr. Shinneman.
Can I help?
No,
goodbye.
You carry on. I hope you enjoy your new command, Mr. Shinneman. It is well deserved. So, with this lovely view of 3rd Redemption Fleet Yards, I thank everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. I'm going to try to put out more 8.0 content to get us to the point where we can close off the Terran Cadet series and do something different for 9.0. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.